with Access Communications. Oh, thank you. And I'm a regional sales manager, and I'm based out of Washington State. And I cover both Washington and Montana, and work with end customers and integrators in both those states. Off to my right is my colleague, Mitch Pikarski. He works out of our Northern Plains territory. He's also a regional sales manager for Access. And before I get started, I'd really like to thank our host today. Let's hear it for High Point Network. Thank you for putting on this event. If any of you have ever put on an event like this, it's a lot of work. So thank you so much for inviting us. It gives us the opportunity to share what our customers and our integrators are doing with our technology. And they are always coming up with amazing ways to use our products and technology. So today, we're going to have a joint presentation. So I'll kind of kick things off and talk a little bit about Access as a company, a high level about products and our technology. Then I'll pass it over to Mitch. He'll go a little deeper dive into some of our technology, and then hand it off to one of our top technology partners, Genetec, talk about a joint collaboration on some hardware and software technology that we've recently launched. So with that, we'll kick it off. We've got a lot of information to cover here today. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of time at the end for some Q&A. If we run short, but we invite all of you with any extra questions, just stop by the booth. We're happy to answer any questions. If for some reason we can't answer that question, we'll be happy to research it and get back to you. So with that, I'll kick it off. So just a little bit about Access. We're the leader in video surveillance outside of China, and we're now over 50 different countries. I think the last count, we're almost up to 4,600 employees, if I remember correctly, and doing very well. So the company was founded in 1984, and we're based in Sweden, and originally based in Lund, Sweden, and we're actually still have our headquarters there. In 2015, we became part of the Canon Group, and then a year later, 2016, Access acquired 2N. Some of you may be familiar with 2N. It's the primary focus on access control devices. So this is just an example how we go to market. It's a two-tier distribution market. We feel this is the optimum way to provide products to our customers in a timely fashion. So we work with some of the largest distributors in North America and around the world, and this allows us to have products when our integrators and customers need it. Over the past couple years, with everything going on in the world, it's been somewhat of a challenge to get components for our cameras and other products, but I'm happy to say I just saw a recent report from our operations department. We're now shipping 94% of our products with normal lead times, which is about 2 weeks. So we're really happy to be at that point. Access has put a lot of time and effort to get there, and kind of our approach is, not if or when is. We're playing not if, but when the next kind of crazy thing happening in the world that could cause interruption in our supply chain. So we have a lot of extra backstock of product all along our product chain. So we're prepared for the next crazy thing that may happen. In terms of our ecosystem, obviously we work with integrators and resellers, and we also work real closely with architects and engineers. So we like to get in early with new construction and make sure that the customers are getting the cameras and other components they need for their projects. So starting off the far left, this picture of a couple of our co-founders, some gentlemen on the far left, that's Martin Gren, and he's still with the company. And I think I would describe his role these days as more as a brand ambassador, and travels around the world and meets with our end customers and finds out what they need in terms of future products, what are their pain points, what's their wish list, and takes that back to our R&D department and incorporates that into future products. So he's actually in the United States at the moment. He was in Seattle last week, meeting with some end customers. I'm not sure where he's headed after that, but he's quite the character. I got to meet him briefly. So here's a little bit of a timeline on Axis. So we started in 1984. We actually started in the print server market. And back in 1984, there weren't inkjet printers, there weren't laser printers. Anybody remember what kind of printers we had in 84? Dot matrix, right. Yes. They were big, they were noisy, they had the sprockets, perforated paper. They had, if you're in the accounting department, it had those green bars. So that's how Axis got started in that product. So in '96, we actually came out with the first IP network camera. And if you go back to our headquarters in Lund, Sweden, we actually have one of those cameras in the lobby still working. So you can get a selfie with our original camera. As time went on, we started coming out with new cameras, and one of the things that we found as we wanted to add more functionality and features for our customers, when we went out to source products, SoC systems and chips for the next generation cameras, there were a lot of good components out there that we could work with, but it just seemed like each one, it may be great with having really nice graphics, but maybe it was a power hog, or maybe it was very efficient with power, but it lacked something else. And so Axis is not into compromising at all. And so what we decided to do is make our own custom SoC, system on a chip. And so we invested a lot of time, money, and effort to design that, and that enabled us to, in 2000, come out with a camera that had at first analytics on the edge, as we like to say. So we also like to come up with really long acronyms. ARCPEC. Anybody out there know what ARCPEC means? I know you do, Mitch, but so the first letter is easy. Axis, real time, ARC, picture encoder chip. So that'll be on a test later. So to kind of just bring us to present day, we're up to the 8th generation of our ARCPEC chip. And our engineers just go crazy implementing new technologies. Mitch will be talking a little bit more about some of the latest capability of the ARCPEC 8, and he'll be covering that in more detail. So at Axis, we like to say we like to be close to our customers, and today is a perfect example of that. We want to know how you're using our products, what you'd like them to do, so we can take that back. Every month, Mitch and I are tasked to feed that back to our corporate headquarters, eventually makes it back to Sweden. So we really do want to know what you'd like to see in the current and future products. So it's kind of hard to see on this map, particularly if you're out there in virtual land. There's little green dots all around the world. We're just highlighting a few there. But we do have something called the Axis Experience Centers. We have quite a few in the United States. We've got 2 up in Canada, 2 in, well, 1 in South America, so 2 in South America. And we have more slated to be put out in the United States. Has anybody here been to an AEC yet? Oh, okay, great. Yeah, makes sense. They're fantastic facilities. I've got a picture of one of them. So this is one of the newer ones. This is in Minneapolis, real close to, I think it's adjacent to Mall of America. And as you can imagine, we've got cameras there, a plethora of cameras. If you're into cameras, you're camera geeks, you would just be like a kid in the candy store here. It's one thing to just see the cameras on the website or on a data sheet. You can come here and see them working live. And we've got them, most of them I think have cameras set up on rooftops. In Irvine, we like to fire up our long-range cameras and look out over at the airport. So if we know when a colleague's coming in Alaska, we can actually see them coming out of the terminal there. Let me flip to the next one. So these are gorgeous facilities. We have large classroom capabilities. You can come in and get Access certified. We have classes at all these AECs. We can bring in, if you're an integrator, you can bring in your customers to our sites. I always welcome end customers. And we also bring in our technology partners like Genetec, and so we can show how their products integrate with our technology. Mitch, you got anything you'd like to share?
System Operations Center here, so it's kind of, I'm sorry. We have a System Operations Center I just want to highlight real quick, and so we have Genetec running in there as it would be like in a enterprise type environment. We got a big old showroom with multiple TVs and on display with joysticks and what have you, so it can kind of see what you would experience in a real-time operations center. So just wanted to highlight that. Yeah, as Victor had mentioned too, classrooms for academies and even got a kitchenette there. Can host meetings, things like that as well. So yeah, if you guys ever have any questions or want to come out, by all means, let us know.
Yes, lots of Swedish candy. Thanks, Mitch. So just an overview of our offering. It's grown way beyond our initial offering of cameras. I've got in some of the new things that we've kind of branched out into and expanded is network audio. Also getting into wearables, body cams. We're seeing that obviously with law enforcement, seeing that in medical facilities. Talking to a gentleman about using it. He does inspections. He works for city government, and so goes out and does inspections. And instead of having to take notes and kind of wonder what he said or what they said, it's all recorded audio and video. So a lot of different areas we're expanding in. The other thing that Access is really big on is partner with our integrators and our technology partners. We specialize in certain areas, but oftentimes customers have crazy needs, and that's when we like to bring in our other partners. And I've got one example here. We're partnering with Genetec, and you can see that they have fully supported virtually every one of our products, I think, and incorporating them into their ecosystem. This is just some examples of different industries where we've created solutions with our products. Retail, transportation, critical infrastructure is a really big one. In Washington State, one of the largest power companies there has incorporated a couple of the Access PTZ cameras along with a fixed box camera to protect their substations. And it's unfortunate that we have to protect them, but we do have the products and the technology to secure those facilities. And there's just some examples of some installations we've done in different industry sectors around the world. Work quite a bit with city governments. Transportation is big. I mentioned also infrastructure and also retail. I would encourage you, if you would like to learn more about how Access is being used in different market segments, if you just go to our website, we have a huge library of what we call case studies. So if you just go to the website and type in customer stories, you can see all the different ways Access is utilized in the different industries. So essentially at the core of Access, we're all about innovating, creating new products, partnering and collaborating with our technology partners, our integrators, and our end customers. Always looking for ways to improve things. And as one of the other presenters said earlier today, one of our biggest assets, if not the biggest, is the people and our culture. So with that, I'll pass it over to Mitch.
Thank you, Victor. All right, so I'm just going to jump in. Kind of a couple key items that I think are trendy these days, and I kind of wanted to talk about some of the technology in specific. So to piggyback off of Victor's point there with the customer in the case studies, High Point Networks actually got a case study with Rytel car dealerships up there in Grand Forks. So just wanted to piggyback. That's actually on our website there. You guys can read up on. So just kind of want to talk about the biggest buzz you'll see a lot of times is AI, deep learning, analytics, right? So you can put apps on our cameras on pretty much any of our devices, just like you can an app on your phone, right? And have it do certain things. So in this case, you'll see me, my kids there. So you were able to use what we call access object analytics to identify humans, vehicles, motorcycles, cars, trucks. We're even doing things where you can, blur license plates or even face detection, hard hat detection. Hey, if you're on a job site, how often do, or if people go on a job site in the view of a camera and not have their hard hat on, even doing like smoke detection, things like that. So what's cool about that, as Victor alluded to earlier, we use technology integration partners. I guess the way I always interpret it is we're kind of what Linux is to the operating system. We're open source. So essentially, we give the ability for customers and technology integration partners to write integrations without holding them back. The SDK and the APIs are completely open. So as I was just showing there's just some different classifications. And then you can take that, what we call, you saw the bounding boxes around the attributes, around was a vehicle or a human. They don't necessarily need to be in the video, but I'm just showing that to demonstrate what the camera sees, right? What it's understanding. And so you can take that even a step further and actually search for like red cars, maybe go in a certain direction. So you saw there was a red arrow, or I'm sorry, there was an arrow. So they were searching after the fact, the video, about red cars coming out of that parking ramp. So you can find what you're trying to find really quickly, rather than have to sift through a bunch of motion-based video, throughout a long period of time. And then this one is just another example. Kind of shows you being able to, I don't know if it hit play or not. Oh, there it is. Okay. Being able to search for a yellow shirt, black pants type thing. And the metadata that we output from the camera, that we're doing that rendering on the camera, can be outputted to any VMS for that matter, and obviously in a Genetec. So Genetec can pull this in and be able to search for those types of attributes, which is pretty cool. So we don't holistically hold you to a certain type of software. And then here's a couple things that are a couple analytics that are kind of more trending here recently. So these are kind of time and area, or we call it kind of loitering detection. So you're using like, hey, if a human's in this area for a period of time, I want to trigger an alert. And that alert could be a mobile notification, could be a deterrent message over one of our speakers. So a lot of different use cases that you can use with that, which is pretty cool. And what you'll see is not even analytics being used just for security, but even beyond that, being able to use for like city operational efficiency, whether it's cross-line counting, so you can count how many people are coming across through a gate in a given day, a given month, a given year. Maybe for a retail store, determining are our sales going up or down through Black Friday in a given given year type thing. On this, this is an example showing cross-line, how many cars, how many buses, how many trucks are driving across that line. So instead of throwing that rubber strip across the road to count how many cars are going across determine how often we need to upgrade our roads or retar our roads, you could use AI and cameras to actually achieve that, which is pretty cool. And then here's another example too. One that we're kind of working on is occupancy in area. So it's easy to identify a car, an object, a human, if it's moving. But if it's baked into the scene and it's static for hours on end, a little bit more difficult. So this is something called occupancy in area, where it's taking a bunch of static cars. And you see, I actually took a pretty challenging scenario. I didn't just took a typical daylight scenario. But you can see that, there's, it's kind of tough to tell if it's a car, even with a human eye in some cases, where especially you got trees blocking it too. But even this one up on the top was pretty impressive, where you can essentially view most of that white truck between that tree, but still classifying that as an object. So it's pretty cool. And then you can go up here and you can see how many different counters, and then you can go back retroactively in the video and determine, how many people were in the scene at that given time type thing. And then you can even do things like this re-ID. I don't have it shown in there, but that's another thing we're working on, where, like, if, the thing with AI is it's always learning. If you walk behind the scene of a camera, or maybe behind a pillar in a room, but you still want to be able to classify, hey, that is still Mitch with that blue shirt, or is it someone else that coming out with a blue shirt? So working and actually tattooing that identifier to that attribute is still pretty challenging in this day and age. But, so Privia's doing a good job with that. And then this is one thing. I'm kind of a nerd at heart. So I used to have that little engineering background, but what I like to do, and this is something that I'm kind of pride ourselves on. We did something back in 2015. We invented something called Zipstream. So Zipstream is a way to compress regions of interest to reduce the amount of storage and bandwidth that that camera's occupying. And so back in 2015, essentially invented that. And it runs on the top of H.264 and H.265, which are the standard compression algorithms that you're seeing out there. But what I want to talk about here is we just launched in April something called Zipstream Storage Profile. And I won't get too nerdy as far as the behind the scenes and how we achieve that. If we want to, we can certainly discuss that even after the fact. But moral of the story is we're able to get another 41% bandwidth and storage savings on top of our existing Zipstream. So what already kind of set the bar prior, now we're just taking that big leap forward. And I'll kind of show you. And that you can use this by default, leveraging into Genetec. And really all it is you just have a toggle, a button, radio button inside of the UI of the camera. And then I took it a step further. So this is it's really hard for me to read. I apologize. And hopefully you guys on the virtual stream could see that better. But the screenshot, I took the same camera. It was a 4K camera. But I took 6 different streams that came out of it. I did one with H.264, one with H.264 Zipstream Classic, our initial Zipstream, and then the newest one we launched in April, Zipstream Storage Profile on H.264. And I did the same thing with H.265, H.265 Zipstream Classic, and H.265 Zipstream Storage Profile. So 6 different streams on the same camera, looking at the same identical scenario over a week's time. So I think it was 9:16 and 9:23, I think it is. I can't see it, but maybe I can read it better. So the top one had for 1 week minus 2 hours was 25 gigs at the H.264. The H.264 Zipstream Classic was 11.1, so we were able to reduce that over 50%. But now we take the H.264 Zipstream Storage Profile, we're down to 6 gigs. So we're able to 25% of what a standard H.264 algorithm, we're able to reduce that almost 75%. And then with H.265, we had 26 gigs, down to 8.3, and down to 4.31 gigs. So moral of the story there is, you're able to do more with less. So obviously allowing the camera to use the camera for what it's used for, that RPEC processor that Victor talked about is all attributing factor to that. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, we can talk more offline if you want to learn more about it. And then I just want to make a segue here. So we did, we launched at ISE West in April. So we do a door access control, and we launched 2 new door controllers, or even our prior door controllers could be brought into Genetec, but we launched it collaborating with Genetec, where it's called Access Powered by Genetec, and it's our A1610 and A1210 door controllers that can be natively brought into Genetec and without the need of a cloud link. But I won't steal their thunder. I'll let those guys take it from here. So with that, thank you so much, and here you go. Thanks, David. You bet. Here's your clicker.
Hoping that works with a PDF. We'll find out in a minute. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you guys all being here and stopping in to listen to us chat for a few minutes. Definitely going to go into some more details on that Access Powered by Genetec controller, kind of show that off. That's kind of what we're here to show off today. But while he's getting this rolling, wanted to just take a second, just give you guys a little bit more detail on Genetec, who we are. How many of you guys know who Genetec is, or maybe even have it installed today? No? Anybody have it installed? 2, 3. Excellent. Awesome. So just a little bit more background then on Genetec. So we're 25 years old this year. This last year we celebrated our 25th anniversary. We're a software company. We generally do not make hardware. There's only a few pieces of hardware we actually make. The integration there, or the stuff we have today with this Access Powered by Genetec collaboration between Axis and Genetec is, I don't know if that's the first of our kind that we've done this before, but it is a pretty awesome setup and thing that we have to be able to bring to market for you guys. So Genetec has obviously been around a long time. Being a software company, we are working very, very hard over the last 25 years to maintain platform independence. What we do is make software. We're almost 2,000 employees strong, based out of Montreal. All the sales staff and everybody is just based wherever they are in the country and across the globe. But the biggest factor is that we are still a privately held company, right? And that means a lot, I think, to a lot of our customer base, and I hope that means a lot to you guys, because we don't take the profits and the margins that we make and put it off and give it off to shareholders. The owner doesn't have an island anywhere, right? And of course, Genetec is not interested in selling out. So what that means is we're able to take all of our revenues and put it right back into R&D every single year, grow our company, bring you new products and new solutions in the security space year over year, so that you have more functionality and more features to be able to continue your operations, to learn and grow, and of course expand what you're doing in the physical security space into other potential possible software solutions, cloud solutions, hybrid solutions that are all security related. And there's a ton of things on our website that you could go through. I'm not going to go through all of them today, of course. Just going to focus on this stuff. Oh, the next button doesn't work. I will slide through. So what we've done in the last couple of years, right, is really given a lot of extra emphasis to our access control. We used to have it branded as, or we still have it branded as Synergis, right? Synergis is our access control platform. Omnicast is our video platform. The concept I want everybody to understand is that Security Center, the umbrella application for everything, is very synonymous to like Microsoft Office. Office is a package that you install, and inside of that, everybody knows we all get Word and Excel and PowerPoint, right? Well, there's a few other things you can always add, like Visio and Publisher. Same kind of concept with Security Center. So you install it once, you get video and access and LPR and the ability to bring in intercoms and intrusion panels and a bunch of other kinds of IoT sensors. So Security Center is synonymous in that way, in that you install it, you update it, you patch it, and it updates everything inside of that umbrella itself, making it easier for you to deploy, faster for you to deploy, easier to manage and maintain. You could have anywhere from one site to thousands of sites across the globe and be able to push updates directly from within inside of our software to every single workstation and every single server you have across the globe, without having to send people around with USB sticks, right? That's the last thing you want to do. So a couple of iterations on our access control. We developed the Synergis Master Controller way back in 2013. We've migrated from that a couple of times now, and we now have our new Cloud Link that enables you to use all kinds of access control hardware. So there is that open flexibility for you to choose the access hardware that you need or you see fit for your organization. But something's always been missing, right? We've got lots of sites that have low density, readers. Maybe it's not applicable to install a big rack full of Mercury boards and do all the extra power supplies and everything that's required of that. Sometimes you just need a couple of doors, right? Or sometimes you just need a simpler, faster installation to get in and get out. So depending on what your needs are, we've had this, we've recognized that this was an issue for a long time. So hardware diversification's always been a really big important factor in what we're trying to do. So we saw this, and this is now the inception of powered by Genetec, or Access powered by Genetec. So it's definitely a new way of bringing the solution to the market, right? We've never really worked with another hardware manufacturer to try to bring something together. Access had a really great, that A1601 controller that you saw a few minutes ago on the Access presentation, right? You had that, which was a really good one because you didn't need extensive power demands for it. You had everything basically in one box that's UL listed, and it can be installed, I believe, actually in the plenum space above a door, right? So you could put it up above and run all your wires down locally, enabling you to just run one cable across back over to a network switch somewhere. So it makes it very easy to do installs, very cost effective for small installations up through large ones. So the nice part about this, right, is we've got that computing at the edge. It is much easier to deploy it, and it's much faster for us to deliver. And working with Access has been a dream come true, right? So if I can slide it just a hair. inverted. All right. So what we've got throughout the Security Center portfolio, right, is obviously an Axis is 100% of their product portfolio is compatible with Genetec. So being the software platform, we're agnostic in that sense. But the cool part is we don't just say that we are open and we work with everybody because we support some kind of standard, right? There's a lot of standards out there in the in the world. ONVIF is a really neat one that's nice, but we've actually tested every single one of Axis's pieces of hardware. We have a huge lab back in Montreal. They ship us their equipment before it hits the market usually. We do the testing and validation and certify that product to make sure it works with our software because of the extensive long-term relationship we've had. Ever since the first IP camera that came out, Genetec's been there integrating those cameras and working with customers to bring that connection of IP cameras and software solutions together. So we can bring it all in: body-worn cameras, motion detection, ACAPs, all those alerts and alarms that you would see on those analytics that the guys were just showing, right? So when you get a person who's loitering or a... Did I stick it in my pocket? I did. I'm scrolling on accident. I'll stop touching it. So all of those like analytics and events, event triggers, and things that you would normally get out of a camera or an analytic that you've built into those cameras, those edge devices, we can take in and we can ingest all the alarms and events that come from those devices. So when that camera you saw had somebody loitering under the bridge, I can take that alert, that notification from the camera, and I can do a dozen different things with it, right? So we can notify a security guard or an operator or a CEO of an organization, whomever. I mean, you could be sitting on the beach with your mobile device active, and it can send off an alarm. It can kick off what we call the threat levels in our software. So we can initiate a lockdown in a situation. We can do a dozen different things, all based off of that one action, because of course you're integrating and bringing in video, access control, intercoms, right, mapping. You can bring in radar and LiDAR systems as well. So you can do all kinds of cool things, and even like output, audio messages to IP speakers, etc. A lot of great functionality that we're enabling. So of course that's the new device, the Axis powered by Genetec. A couple of quick details. So of course, industry first, combining the two together. Exclusively through our certified channel partners, that would be High Point Networks. Easy to acquire, of course, and definitely we've got a good list of inventory. These are in stock, ready to go. This is not like a beta project, right? It's live, so you can purchase this. And as far as I've seen so far, and everybody correct me if I'm wrong, that these are selling like hotcakes. So we're doing quite well with this product. We're seeing a lot of great adoption because of the market that it fits in. So the options you have here is the two-door controller or the single-door controller. They can do OSDP. It's got multiple I/Os ready out of the box, right? You just pop the cover off and start wiring. Pretty simplistic. The nice part I thought was really great was that containerized architecture, right? I think being able to have everything right all in just one box, you can power it with, I believe it's 12-volt power supply. Just makes it super easy and convenient to just install for a couple of doors, get in and get out, and not have a huge expense of having to install the panel and then rack the boards and then plug everything, wire up everything to the power supply, and then wire all that stuff up to the doors, right? Being able to have everything in one box just is very efficient, very convenient. Cloud ready, of course, and cybersecurity. It's just something that Genetec and Axis have always put everything we have into. Just making sure the systems are cyber secure is super critical. There's a whole page on the website for cybersecurity. So if there's a certification you need as an industry that you want to make sure that your systems are compliant in some way, just reach out, of course, or check on our website. Of course, there is a ton of different certifications that we have to help make sure and validate that our systems are cyber secure. With that, let me just ask, anybody using like proprietary types of systems today that are thinking about converting an access control software or access control hardware that doesn't integrate with some other software, or a camera that doesn't integrate with some other software? Because we see this as a pretty prevalent thing in the industry today. It's very, very common to be able to find something that's very budget conscious, right? That is, quite unfortunately, very like locked in, right? You buy that one solution, it only works with that one software, or that hardware only works with the one software, and it pigeonholes you into a bad situation where you can't get out of, right? Because maybe eventually that software or that hardware doesn't grow and expand with you, can't grow into multiple sites, and of course, as needs change, as cybersecurity changes, right? As there's additional requirements that come on board or come online, those systems are kind of sometimes like a one and done thing, right? You buy it, that's it. You're not going to get updates and patches on it because the company doesn't care. Or they get bought out, right? That's a big, huge consolidation effort going on in our industry right now. A lot of companies are being bought out, and who gets left holding the bag? You, the customer, right? So Genetec, again, been around a very long time. Same thing with Axis. Definitely two partners, I think, on the manufacturing side that you guys can certainly lean on us for that expertise going forward. This was a adaptation from a PowerPoint that didn't come through, right? But the concept here is, right, there's a lot of openness on our access control to be able to use what kind of hardware you want. Ideally, right, this is best for your multi-site, low-density stuff, where you need a couple of readers here and there, and you're trying to keep that expense down. This is a really, really great way to do it. And of course, it is hybrid. We had a couple conversations with some of you guys today about can the system be hybridized? Can I do some of it in the cloud or some of it on premise? How do I move my system that's currently in the cloud back into on-premise, or maybe I'm doing on-premise now and I want to go cloud? There's a lot of reasons why you might want to do one or the other or both. Stop by our booth a little bit later. We'll have a little deeper conversation on that one. But everything we do today is very hybrid focused, right? We're trying to build new solutions and new things that are cloud ready or cloud focused, but we're not abandoning the on-premise concept, right? People still want to have more control over their software, more control over their solution. So we're continuing to build things that are hybrid, for sure. How much time we got at the end here? A couple minutes left? Okay. I want to leave a little minutes for Q&A in the end for both Axis and I, so please, somebody stop me when we hit the last 5 minutes or so. Or, sure, fire away.
I just have a question about your installers who can install in certain states. Is that listed on your site?
The question is if there's a list of installers who can install our software or solutions on our website. Currently, the answer is no, because we don't want our competitors to know some of those things. But that's okay. You can always ask us if you have a need in a certain area. Just let me know. Any one of our Genetec employees can help point you in the right direction and get you a list of installers. Sometimes we see that question or people asking about, hey, can someone install my system? It's like, do you have one door or 1,000 doors? Right? Is it one camera or 500 cameras? Is it a new job or a TI? And those things can sometimes help me identify which of the partners that we have that I should position for you to interview. And I'll usually give people 2 or 3 people to interview or something, or a whole list of everybody in the area for you to choose. And it just going to depend on the size of the complexity of the job, because some partners are very specialized in service. They are engineering focused, very focused on software deployment. And some are very focused on running cable and hanging cameras and doing physical installations because they have more of a physical background or electrical background. So sometimes it will depend on what I have available. Long answer to a short question, sorry. Let's see. Last little bit of this, right, is just, kind of going on what Axis was saying, like how they go to market, right? So they go to market through distribution and then channel partners, right out to the end user from there. We go through channel partners as well, so Genetec doesn't sell direct, but we do work through our channel partners. So High Point Networks, of course, thanks to the team for providing all of this today. But our channel partners are the ones who are out there certified on our solutions and can help you guys deploy those installations and get things going. If you want a demonstration, like an actual demonstration from us, they get in contact with us. We do a little Teams thing or something like that, and we'll show off the solution, answer all your questions, and give you some dedicated time to take a look at the solution. Okay, I got a 2-minute warning. Any questions, Genetec or Axis? Maybe Victor, I don't know if you want to come back up, or Mitch, if there's any questions around, if anybody wants to fire away at us, go for it.
I was just asking about the access control component you just mentioned here. Yeah. And is there certification installing that? Do you offer any type of certified training to install those?
Good question. So certified training for installers of our access control stuff. Yes, so Genetec does do certification training for people who want to sell our access control. So almost all of our partners have a certification, or somebody on the team is certified in either video or access control or both. But we offer multiple levels of certification for video, multiple for access control, and then multiple for LPR, license plate recognition. So, and then there's a whole bunch of brand new training that's available. So if you are a Genetec customer, keep an eye on your email. Make sure you're receiving some of those newsletters and things that we offer, because our Genetec University, which is like our portal for training and things, is now becoming a little bit more open for customers. So it was very partner focused at the time when we started developing it through COVID, and now it's opening up to customers, to end users. So you can take some good training in there. We've got a ton of videos on the solution. So if you want to do some of it yourself, you can also get certified as well if you really want to. Cool. All right. Final questions. Good to go. Thank you, everybody, appreciate you guys stopping in. And thanks to the High Points Network team.